Okay, it is 2 o'clock, and thank you everybody for turning up to this webinar, which is on plant and equipment. Arguably one of the biggest registers inside the system, and one that actually links throughout most of the other registers. So I actually, and if you do want to request it, I did a kind of article on a forklift saying that thinking outside the box when it comes to safety and in regards to a forklift and so forth, that you could literally use nearly every single register inside this system to manage a forklift if you've got a forklift. If you'd like to know how, send me an email and ask me for the document, and I'm more than happy to send it to you. But thank you very much for turning up. These webinars have been quite successful in helping clients actually learn the system a little bit more. It will go for around about 20 to 25 minutes. I will be recording it, which I am now, and I will actually be placing this into the help section. So you'll see this in the help section in the training videos, and you'll see that all the other webinars that I've done previously are here. So if you do want to know a little bit more about the system, a great idea is actually to watch some of these webinars as well as the other videos to get a true understanding how the system works. But today's webinar is on plant and equipment. So let's select on plant and equipment. Just like every other register, you have an item number. And the reason why this is the item number in the database. When you actually set up an email alert in the user admin dashboard, it will actually quote that item number. It'll actually have a hyperlink on that email alert. And if you've logged into the system and click on that email alert, it'll actually take you to the edit page of that item. But it's actually referencing, this reference here is referencing this piece of equipment in the database. So it's, you have the machine name, you can relate a plant and equipment item to a site. So it's obviously, you can enter multi-sites inside the system. With the new system, you'll be able to enter multi-sites and also sub-sites, which will actually even make it, you'll be able to categorize your plant and equipment even better. So this perform maintenance, just to, if the maintenance is actually performed as per this maintenance date, this is where you can actually upload when the maintenance was done, and you can actually upload the document and the invoice from the person that's actually done that. And again, that's also picking up your contractor register, and that's something that's very important. If you're actually getting your equipment maintained by a third party, really at the end of the day, that person is a contractor. They're maintaining your items and keeping them in a safe working order. So you should have them in the contractor register. So it's, again, if you watch, say for example, some of the other videos, but also if I send you that document, it'll clearly highlight if you've got, forklifts or trucks or any other kind of equipment, and you're getting it serviced by a third party, that third party is a contractor, you need to make sure that that person is not only qualified to undertake that maintenance, but you also need to make sure that they've got all the insurances in place. You'll see, say for an example, a lot of these machinery actually have preferred suppliers, or they have their own company actually service those things. It's probably best to go with them, just to be on the safe side. And that's what I'd be doing. I'd be highly recommend that if you are getting your machines serviced by the company that's actually can provide a service for that machine, I'd be doing that. So you're going through here. You've got maintenance dates. This is the next maintenance date that you've actually entered inside the system. A review date. The review date is for continual improvement and just to highlight to you to go, oh, do we actually have company vehicle 1 anymore? So every item throughout the system has a review date. Instructions, so you can upload a SOP, so operating practice, or might be, say for an example, the user manual that comes with that machine. It's a great way to actually upload it here instead of having it in some drawer that you've got no access to it. You'll find, so for an example, when you actually get those user manual, a lot of people actually ask me, what kind of checklist should they actually be doing, either pre-start checklist or all these different kind of maintenance checklists that they do. Most of those manuals, when you actually purchase a machine and they supply you with a manual, it'll actually have what checklist you should be doing, when you should be doing it. So it's a great way. This document here, which a lot of people don't read and just discard, go through that document and break that up and then build it throughout the system in the designated areas. But definitely upload it here as a item. So you can actually upload documents here. when you upload a document, you can upload it in all different kind of varieties of documents. The best probably thing for you to do is actually upload it as a PDF, because if you do it as a PDF, it will be a lot smaller document and easier to access. This view icon, the view icon, just like every other icon throughout the system, this views the content of that item. So in this one here, you're looking at the plant and equipment QR code is a little bit different than every other QR code. Let me go back and I'll use the forklift for an example, because I was just cleaning that up before. So if I select on view on the forklift, if I go print QR code, it actually prints a QR code with the name of the forklift when this finally loads up. That's your company logo there. If your logo is not there, please contact us and we can actually upload your logo there, and it'll be just sitting there nice and neat. So but it actually has the name of that machine or plant item that you've entered in, and it creates it into that. So it has all these details of this here. We're going to go to the edit button to show you where you can actually do that. One feature is that it actually picks up your qualification matrix and highlights which employees actually qualified to use this forklift as per your qualification matrix. So just remember that that's a good one, where you can actually come up, scan the QR code, and actually see if that person's actually qualified to use that machine. Some of these other fields that were entered, we'll go through there later, but a lot of people have actually asked that they, can we actually have it, and so we can use it as an asset register. Hence why all these are here, and you can actually print this register out as an asset register if you wish. It was a while ago, I was actually presenting to a client, and they loved the system, and they mentioned, with the QR codes, how good the QR codes were. They can print a QR code out for an incident, QR code for a hazard, QR code for a checklist, QR code for a safe work method, and QR code for a plant item. But they mentioned, why can't I just have one QR code where I can actually scan and get access to everything? Great idea, I thought. So this is what was actually put into the system. So you can build checklists, and we're going to build one and show you how you can actually relate this checklist to this very item. So you can relate it to this very item, or you can relate it to all your plant items. If it's a pre-start checklist or a vehicle inspection and so forth, if you've got multiple plant items, there's no use building it multiple times. You'll be able to actually just build it once and open up the checklist field. But we'll go there and we'll show you how you should be doing that, because really you should be using this feature. So now a person can actually just go from that, click on that icon, and it takes them straight to the checklist that they need to undertake. So the beauty about this is that now the employee technically only needs one QR code. So they can log an incident, they can do a checklist, they can log a hazard, they can log maintenance, all from one QR code. So a lot of the clients now, what they actually do is they print out that QR code, they stick it on the machine, but a lot of our clients actually print that QR code and put it in the person's wallet or stick it in the car. So therefore that person can have access to everything that needs to be done relating to that item. If you actually did have fleet vehicles or something like that, or trucks and so forth, you can print out this QR code. Not only gives them access to all their different checklists they need to do, or even a fit for duty or so forth, but you could actually upload all the different kind of documents that relate to that vehicle. So, a couple of clients have been quite inventive and literally uploaded all their kind of safe work methods and other documents. So therefore, one QR code, you can access literally every single thing that you need that person to do. So this log here, in the log, these documents here are documents that, when I said upload your service document and so forth, user manual, these documents are just here. So you can actually upload more than one. So it's a good idea, if you wanted to actually just use one QR code and give it to your employees, is to upload as many documents as you wish, so they're all sitting here. So they get access to that document. What they're doing is clicking that document, downloading and viewing it. This log here is every single time that this forklift has been updated in the system. This show maintenance log, that's that green plus sign that you actually entered the maintenance in. So when you enter the maintenance, it puts the details, the maintenance dates, who was maintained by, and also if you actually uploaded the invoice, it'll be sitting here. So this is just a log of all your maintenance. this item here is extremely important. So now when you actually do a checklist, and we're going to go there shortly, you can build a checklist, you can relate it to a machine, or you can relate it to every machine. And then when you're actually doing a pre-start checklist or a vehicle inspection or whatever it may be that you're doing relating to that very item, it not only saves it in the checklist register, but it also saves it into the plant item itself to highlight that you've actually done that pre-start checklist relating to this very item. Compliance, well, this is actually picking up your compliance register here. So it's a good idea for you actually to maybe, depending if you're using forklift or you're using, say for an example, it might be heavy vehicles, so you can upload your compliance standards in this section here, and then all those documents to be sitting here. So again, just showing that you've actually, you're trying to keep up with legislation and you're referencing something as well. Procedures, picking up procedure register. At the moment, it's just documents, but later on, that's going to, early next year, that's going to become a very special field. Plant and use item is, well, you're looking at, if I come up here and actually select it on my name, it actually says date of use, signed out, signed in. So a person can then sign in, sign out that document, and actually highlight who actually has used that machine. So it, and the reason why it's using these fields here is these two people are the only people qualified to do that. So how do I get these people here? So if I go back, and let's select, say for an example, edit next to the machine. So you can enter a machine name, obviously. You might even, say for an example, enter that name as the name of your company. Being that you can actually relate all checklists and all documents, have an incident form, a hazard form, a maintenance form to this one item on this one QR code, you could even, say for an example, enter the name as the name of your company. So it, like I see that Diana, you're there, so you could have that as Pullman's Nursery, for an example. And they have Pullman's Nursery, and now you've got one QR code for all your employees instead of them having 5 or 6, they've just got one. So if you're going to relate it to an activity, it, you're calling that, say for example, the company name, you could probably relate it to the activity of general. If it is relating to a forklift, then you do have an activity of a safe work method of loading and unloading trucks, yeah, you could actually relate it to that item, because that'll put that safe work method again on that QR code where they can access it. So you can break it down, you can enter all the different items. This qualification field was an old field, but it needs to stay there because previous clients have been using that field. That's qualification required, but this was the upgrade that was actually put in there, would have been early last year, where you can actually select certain items here that this person needs to be doing, certain items that this person needs to have in their qualifications to actually to use that machine. And this is actually referencing the qualification matrix, and also when you enter employees, obviously you enter and relate qualifications to them, which creates this matrix, which then creates all these items here in this list. You can add qualifications here if you wish, and what it'll actually do, it'll add it in all the other qualifications lists throughout the system. So everything interlinks. So you can, a great idea for you actually, you'll see that when you actually select edit next to your machines, you mightn't have seen this, but it's here. So if you've got qualifications inside your system, they'll be listed here, and then you can actually go through and do that kind of process. Then you can actually, say for an example, with the general inductions and training requirements, this is picking up your induction register. So you can actually go through and actually enter them and select what they need to have in relating to training and induction requirements. If I scroll down a little bit further, you can, a lot of people have requested that they want to know the cost of the item and so forth, purchase dates and all these different things, so they can actually just print out their asset register and it's got it there. So you can fill these items in, but you'll see that, if you see the red asterisk, obviously that means it's mandatory. Sorry, not obviously, but red asterisk means that it's mandatory, and anything without a red asterisk is variable. You don't have to enter that field if you don't want to. If I come down here, this is a registration certification, so you can have an alert date and expiry date, because you want to find out prior that you need to actually re-register your your car, your truck, or whatever it may be that you're doing. And also, for example, you can enter insurances here. You can upload the document here. Please note, if you are uploading a document there and you scan a document prior to it, just open that document up again. Even though it says it's a PDF, it's not a true PDF. So open it up, save as PDF, and then upload the document, and it'll upload fine. So and then you can just sit there for your reference. Your yearly maintenance. So how you scheduling, developing your maintenance, what you're doing, you're selecting the month first, you're selecting year next, and then you select on the day to lock in a date. Now you can select a maintenance person here and enter the email address, but I think you'll find that it'll be much easier to manage when you actually use the plant and equipment alerts inside the section up here. So a lot of companies, yes, they do that for email alerts the supervisor or whatever it may be that they know gets done. But this one might be just maintained by an individual employee, and they're the only one actually maintaining this certain item. You could do it like that if you wanted to break this up and just say, you know what, I just want this person to manage all my forklifts. So you would actually forget about setting up an email alert in the alert section and set them all up here and just relate the individual employee to each individual plant item, making sure that you do enter their email address in here. Now, there is, so for an example, the next automatic scheduler. So probably at the moment, just use the yearly maintenance. The reason being is there's the automatic scheduler. You can actually set it and tells you what the next date is, but it won't just keep on scrolling through and updating and updating and updating and updating. But an upgrade later this year will be. You'll be able to enter maintenance schedule, not just on date, but you'll be able to do it on time, and you'll be able to do it on kilometres, and once it registers, it'll just click over to the next one. So coming in an upgrading feature, but at the moment, just use the yearly maintenance, probably be best. So if I scroll down here further, you've got a review date. You can make a person responsible, and you select that green, the plus sign to take them over to the management section. This review date is just there, as mentioned before, just to highlight that you've still got that item. Or you might want to check things relating to that item and update this form. You can upload an image here, and that's seen on your QR code as you saw before. You've got alerts here, but again, you can set alerts up in the alert section. It's totally up to you. Instead of having multiple employees getting alerts, it's much easier if you actually set it up in the alert section because you know exactly who's doing it. Do you want to make this machine public? What that means is that when it creates the QR code, and if I scan this QR code, it will automatically bring up this plant item on my phone, and I do not even have to enter a username and password. So it's I highly recommend that, depending on your situation, to ease of use for your end user, that you select yes here. If it's something that this plant and equipment item is used in the public kind of sector where anyone can use it, you would actually maybe make it no. But you can make it yes. The next one, do you want your employee list on the form? That's where when they scan the QR code, it'll have a drop-down list of all your employees. They can select the name that they're doing it. And if you want that to record into that employee's details, the answer is yes. If you've got the general public and can scan this code, you'd select no because for privacy reasons. Or if you do select no, just remembering it'll have a text field there, but it will not save it in the employee's records to say that they actually did that checklist. Then you can select update. So so make sure you select update when you're doing that. And what it does, as mentioned before, it creates the QR code. So if I print the QR code, as you saw before, it has the name of the forklift, and you would stick that on the vehicle. I did mention at the start there with the checklist how you can actually build a checklist and relate it to that plant item. So if you go to checklist, and if you go add checklist, but I'll just go to one that I've actually done before. So I'll go daily pre-start checklist here. So you can actually relate it to a site. If you've got multiple sites, select that and leave that as open. Activity, you're selecting activity. It might be, pre-start checklist. If your activity is not in here, you go to the activity register. Just enter the activity even though you're going to have no document to it, and then just upload it here. Now this is where I can relate it to an individual item if I wanted to, or you know what, I'm going to relate it to every item because I've opened that field up and I've opened that field up. That now relates it to every single plant item in my system, a pre-start checklist. You can relate it to all those other different things inside the system, but you would definitely relate it to one of your policies as well. And then you can actually build your pre-start checklist. So watch the checklist builder by doing that, but the way that you actually relate it to a plant item is by opening this field, both these fields, you relate it to every item. If you just wanted to relate it to an individual item, you would close that field, relate it to the site that the plant item's at, close that field, and relate it to the item and close that field. And it will only relate it to that item. But you'd have to then build a checklist or pre-start checklist for every single plant item inside your system. So it's much easier doing it this way. When you're actually setting up an alert inside the system to alert you of all these different things, please note it's really important that you set this up correctly. So it, you can relate it to a plant item, relate it to a site. Make sure if you've got multi-sites, you need to build an alert for every single site you've got, not just for the one. So, and then you would set the time frame as 1, so it happens the next day, and then you would select update. You can make that escalate if this person hasn't done it as well. If you want to hold and select an alert for more than one person, you hold down the control button and select another person. Make sure you select update. One thing is if you do, you'll see email alerts. Please don't mark the alerts as spam, because if you do, you won't start receiving the alerts. So it's very important that you don't mark them as spam and you set up the email alerts right. And also, it's obviously not going to send an email alert up unless the person inside the system has got the proper email address. So those things you just need to check. If you've set it up for alert and you're not getting it, and if you you can put in a ticket, we can actually see if the email's been sent out anyway, and if whether maybe your security system set marked it as spam. We can actually, all you need to do is go to your spam and unselect this as spam, and then you'll receive the email alerts. But you need to make sure that those alerts are set up correctly. As I mentioned, with that plant equipment item, it relates to lots of different things inside the system. So yes, you can build that checklist as we mentioned, but you saw that the qualifications and inductions inside here. So you could actually come in here and relate inductions to an employee, add induction here, and then relate inductions to that. Any qualification that you actually enter here is automatically seen in that plant item. So you can actually, in that plant items qualification list that we saw before. I've mentioned to a couple of clients who have been using the system for quite some time, is that you can actually come to this induction section and you can actually build inductions relating to that machine. Yes, you can build an induction, but also it's a great idea for you to videotape yourself. Certain machines might be, dangerous to use, or any machine, you can use it for any machine. That I've been saying to people, and it's been working really well. They videotape themselves on the safe use of that item. Upload it to your own YouTube channel. You can set up a YouTube channel for free, and all you're doing is right-clicking on that video and pasting it into the system. And what that's going to do is going to create your own online e-learning video. So you can actually make it that the first slide is just a video with no questions. That's a feature. Watch the induction, how to build an induction, and that'll actually highlight that. So a lot of companies, what I tell them to do is video. Yes, you build an induction relating to that item, but also videotape yourself on the safe use of this item. Okay, they scan the QR code, and you have on that QR code, make sure you scan this QR code before use of this machine. They scan the QR code, opens that up on their phone or iPad, and it goes over. This is the safe work process of this machine. Make sure you do your pre-start checklist. Make sure you're wearing this, and scan the QR code for the checklist so you can actually do the pre-start checklist and so forth. So you're just doing a 30-second to 60-second safety instruction video on how to use that machine. Yes, you've inducted prior, but you're also putting in there to show that you actually are trying the best of your efforts to provide a safe workplace. So in just finishing off, because it's the 25 minutes went pretty quick. So it is this plant item is really important, and one, if you set it up right, you can actually just use one QR code that can manage all the data inside your system, or a lot of the data inside the system. More than happy if you want to have a more detailed session and so forth, or a view of your system, just go to our website, book in for a training session, and we can actually have a look at your system and what you should be doing. But and if you do want that document relating to the plant item and how to think outside the box and how it relates to literally all the registers inside the system, please send me an email. I'm more than happy to send it to you. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Looking forward to the new system coming out in July, and then also not only that, major upgrade coming into this section later this year. But thank you very much for attending. Hope you enjoyed that and made you learn a little bit more about how to use the plant equipment system register in the online WHS system. Thank you and goodbye.